everybody.
Okay, we going live, family. Ashley, greetings. Kenyette, Ishman, greetings, family. Welcome.
Welcome, everybody.
Thank
Happy
you.
to see everybody today. Today we're here for a BAF info session, and I'm so happy about the character of these info sessions going forward, in that they're not about rhetoric.
That's right.
They're about what we are actually doing right now. It's about the community that we are building right now. But before I go into all of that, I am going to do the obligatory presentation of what the Black Achievement Fund is. I'm going to try to make that as brief as possible, and then we're going to jump right into our Little Kemet development. I'm going to share with everyone all the preliminary steps involved before we can actually get a shovel in the ground to our Little Kemet community. But even before I do that, in the course of this info session, I'm going to focus primarily on our real estate development department because that's the phase that we're in right now, real estate development. And in doing so, I want to take the time to teach our community how you grow value through real estate, how you take an acre of land from $3,000 to $30,000, okay? So that's going to be the crux of our info session. And let me jump right into it with our website. For those of you who are just tuning in, our website is baf.solutions. No need to put .com, .org, or anything like that, just baf.solutions. And we did it that way because every time you go to our website, we want you to think solutions, 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 okay? What is the Black Achievement Fund? We are a national economic and community development corporation with the mission of Black economic independence. Our mission is to create a pool of capital to finance the grand development of Black America, what we've been trying to do forever. The inspiration to our movement is ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, for those of you who are not familiar with ancient Kemet is. Ancient Kemet is the name that the Black people who created ancient Egypt actually called Egypt. So we're talking about Black excellence. We're talking about showing the world, demonstrating to the world, the African worldview, and how we as Black people can utilize our own culture, our own value systems to lift everyone up at the same time, all right? Our solution to achieving this economic independence that I'm talking about is very simple. There are over 50 million Black people here in America alone. Out of that 50 million, we're talking about 10 million people, or 1 in 5. 10 million Black people and our allies, plus $9 a month equals 90 million a month and over $1 billion a year for us to finance our own development agenda. The Black Achievement Fund is open to anyone who believes in our mission and our guiding principles, regardless of race, religion, political preference, or sexual orientation. For the past couple years, you guys have heard me come up here and give the same spiel. What I haven't spoken enough about are all the achievements that we are raking up along the way. In 3 years, in over 36 months, there's too many achievements to name, but I'm gonna focus on what we're doing by way of real estate development. After all, the Black Achievement Fund is officially a nonprofit economic and community development corporation. We have 12 program departments. These 12 program departments range from small business and investments, real estate development, education, farming and agriculture, banking and financial services, health and wellness, grants and scholarships, manufacturing and transportation, culture and community, international affairs, special initiatives, membership, and volunteer services. Okay. The Black Achievement Fund, as you all know, We now collectively own land in Toomsboro, Georgia. Now, how do we build capital through real estate? How many of you guys remember the Monopoly game?
Love it.
I'm going to take us back to Monopoly. And that was my favorite game growing up, obviously. All right. All right, let's see here. So, real estate is one of the most
You need to leave that area.
important aspects of an economy.
Because maybe you didn't get turned on by what it was saying at times.
Can you guys mute?
Got it.
Please, thank you. All right, I'm just trying to find a good picture of the Monopoly board. Sorry. So in the process of doing this development, one of the things that I've been instructed to do is to make sure that I educate the community along the way, because everyone is not familiar with real estate development, real estate investment. So part of what we're doing here at the Black Achievement Fund is bringing everyone up to speed on how do you make money in real estate. Okay. Here's a Monopoly board. When you play the game of Monopoly, the object is to do what? Acquire as much real estate as you possibly can. If you don't have any real estate, you can't collect rent. If you can't collect rent, you don't really have any way of generating income, okay? So this is a game of real estate. Everyone is given the same amount of money, but people's real estate dictate how wealthy they can become. Now, when you buy a property at, let's say for instance, you buy a property at $200. You buy Pennsylvania Avenue at $200. How much is the rent on that property when you just own one property? Is it a lot? It may be $20. You have to own all three before you can put a house on it, right? So what is that saying to you? It's saying that one property in and of itself has but so much of a value. But multiple properties in the same area, they have more value. The more properties you own, the higher value, the higher equity you get from those properties. You can't build a house on any property until you own all three. Once you own all three, you can buy a house, but you can't buy one house. You have to improve all three of the properties at the same time. The first house is $50 a house. However, the second house is $100 a house. The third house is $150 per house. And the fourth house is $200 per house. So the more infrastructure you add to your property, the more valuable your property becomes. Now, your rent goes up from $20 if someone lands on it to $1,200 when you have houses and such on it. When you put a hotel on it, how much money are the properties worth then? What we're doing right now with our Little Kemet community is no different from the game of Monopoly. We are taking land that only can hold a certain value when it's only farmland. When it's only farmland. You can't get the same amount of capital from 5 acres of lettuce as you can with 5 acres of homes. Okay? So what we're doing in our Little Kemet community is similar to how the game of Monopoly is played. All the properties have a certain value before they are developed. Every last one of these properties on the board are in similar range, give or take $100 or $200. However, when all of these properties are developed, rent from these properties go from on average of $20 to now you got 4 houses up there, $2,000. You got a hotel up there, you'll bankrupt someone. When you buy, if you go out into the country right now, you can buy an acre of land between $1,500 and $3,000 an acre, only if you buying 50 acres. No one's going to sell you 1 acre in a rural environment for a couple $100. It's not going to happen. The more land you're buying at one time, the cheaper the land is going to be. But does that mean that you can develop on all of the land? No, it doesn't. It also means that in order for you to improve the value of this land, you're going to have to do what? Build houses on it, build infrastructure on it, build things on it that now has a higher value than barren land, that now has a higher value than a produce field or a cattle ranch. Okay? This is how equity works. This is how real estate development works. If you look in any major city, what was once the suburbs becomes a part of that metropolitan area. Here we are in Atlanta, the Atlanta greater metropolitan area. The closer into the city, the more valuable the properties. The further away from the city, the less valuable the properties. Why? Because everyone's trying to be in Atlanta. Everyone's trying to be in Atlanta. What we're doing with our Little Kemet community is providing the Black community with an escape from these major cities, from all of what goes on, police brutality, all of the crime that goes on in these cities, for people who just want to get an escape. So what we're doing is we're taking land that only has a value of $3,000 or so an acre, and we're pouring millions of dollars onto that land. As we pour millions of dollars onto that land, the value of the land goes up. Real estate is based on comps, comparable value to comparable houses or real estate around you. When we build one house in Freedom, Georgia, let's say, for instance, we sell it for $225,000. The second house makes the first house worth more money. You build 3 houses, the value goes up on all the land. You build 4 houses, the value increasingly goes up. You put a produce farm there, the value goes up. You build a community, a clubhouse, the value goes up. So as much capital as you put into a community, the value of the properties within that community are going to rise. The very first people who invested in the community will have the most equity in the community by the time that the community is finished. Now, let me ask you this. Once all of the properties on that monopoly board are purchased and owned by someone, is there any other property left? So if you don't own any of that property, once all of that property gets sold, how long can you exist on this board? All you're doing is paying rent. Every time you roll, you're paying rent and you land on somebody else's property, or you're going to jail. Once everyone buys property in the game, they don't have to sell you anything. You become irrelevant. What we're doing with the Black Achievement Fund is taking advantage of real estate. And we're taking advantage of real estate in a way that solely benefits us. Here's the reality. It is very difficult to convince bankers to finance a residential community in the middle of nowhere. Why would they do that? Why would I risk putting millions upon millions of dollars in a community in the middle of nowhere? I'll do it if I know that that community in the middle of nowhere is going to be a bona fide community beyond everything else that's around there. And the community in and of itself creates its own comps. So if I invest in putting 5 houses out there, I know that I've set the comps for that area. So now each of these houses are worth what they've sold for at minimum. And as you build and continue to build, each one of those houses becomes worth more and more and more. The maximum amount of houses that we will build in our Little Kemet community is around 50 houses. After those 50 houses are sold, there's no more land. It's over. So now, if you want to be in this community, you're going to have to pay a premium. Do you think you're going to be able to buy a house for $250,000 or $300,000 once we're at house number 40? No. This is how real estate works. This is how the Black Achievement Fund is increasing the value to the land that we own, and that is by developing the land. Okay? Now, the Black Achievement Fund owns 6 acres of land. Let's say the Black Achievement Fund puts 5 of our A-frame houses on the land. And it costs us, let's just keep the numbers even, $200,000 to build one. Now, when you talk about how do you build equity, okay, you spent $200,000, but we're Airbnb renting these houses out to other individuals. Let's just use the number of $200 a night. No, let's use $99 a night. At $99 a night, that's $3,000 a month, 30 days in a month. At 80% occupancy, 24 days, that's $2,400 a month. Okay? So you have a finite number of months before the rentals pay off the $200,000 that you paid. So let's say your break even is 5 years. After 5 years, all of the capital that you generate goes back into the Black Achievement Fund coffers. All right, let me break my calculator out so I can make a little better sense. Do you guys see me? Hold on, let me stop my screen. Okay. Let's say, for instance, we're operating 1 house for the Black Achievement Fund. We pooled our capital together and we paid $200,000 for the house. At 80% occupancy, at $99, the bare minimum, you're talking about generating $28,800 a year. All right? So if you're looking at this, in 5 years, you're at $144,000 in rent. All right. Now, we plan on renting them at $199 a night for everyone else starting, and $99 a night for $199 a night for the general public, $249 Friday through Sunday for the public, and $149 Friday through Sunday for Black Achievement Fund members. So playing at $200 a night times 24 nights, you're at 4,800 times 12. You're at 57,600 bucks. Now, if you paid $200,000 in less than 4 years, the rent at 80% occupancy has paid off your investment in 4 years. Now you own a house. When you bought that house at $200,000 4 years prior, that's what the cost was. Is the cost still going to be, since you bought it in 2024 for $200,000, is it still going to be $200,000 in 2028? No. You added equity. In 2028, it may be worth $300,000. All right, from your $200,000. Now you have a property that there's no mortgage on. So every single month, you're generating this passive income. Now, remember, this is owned collectively by the Black Achievement Fund. So all of this capital and rent that this property is generating goes back into the Black Achievement Fund. So let's say you're dealing with 4,800 a month times 12, you have 5 units. Five units at 80% occupancy at $200 a night, and you're well over $250,000 in revenue. Now, we all saw that at $200 a night, it takes 4 years to pay off one of these properties. So if we had 5 units and paid them off in 4 years, the Black Achievement Fund will actively be accruing over $250,000 every single year just off rents of property that the organization owns. Now, what can we do with this capital? Right now, I'm trying to buy 375 acres for $1.1 million. You got to put 30% down. So here, you got the Black Achievement Fund will be able to damn near by itself as an organization buy 375 acres of land. As an organization. As an organization. That's what we're doing here with the Black Achievement Fund's land in our Little Kemet community. We're going to be building these A-frame pyramid style housing cabins on BAF land, generating capital for the BAF. Okay? We've extended that to include members of the Black Achievement Fund. So within any given real estate project, the Black Achievement Fund is making money for the organization and is making money for its members. How? We're offering members the opportunity to buy land in this community, build their own homes, second homes, Airbnb, rent them out, however you want to do it. As I said, the people who buy in the very beginning, they accrue the most equity the fastest. Once all the lots in the community is sold and there's no more, every single value of every single property has risen astronomically. As we develop more and more amenities on the property, all of the equity increases exponentially. This is how we make money from the Black Achievement Fund, Real Estate and Development Department. This is how we make money collectively, individually, as well. Now, if you think of all of the major cities that you know of, I want you to think of those towns that used to be nothing but cows and fields, and the land is dirt cheap. Is that land still dirt cheap? Let me ask you this. If you own 100 acres in this rural environment that the Black Achievement Fund just purchased land in, and you know that the comps are around $3,000 for an acre. And that's, again, because all of this land is sold in 100-acre increments above, okay? You're not buying 2 acres, 1 acre, all right? You're not gonna be the same price, all right? So now, you own 100 acres, and you see the Black Achievement Fund go to the commissioner's office, the tax assessor's office, and submit a subdivision plan in which is going to be subdividing this land, creating the community that we're creating, and selling the acres, and then the acre sells for $30,000 an acre. What are you going to do with your land? Is it going to be the same price? You own land in a community. The Beltline comes through your community, a public project where they're taking a trail, creating a trail that connects to your whole city. Do you think your house value is going to be the same? A new luxury mall is coming. Is your property value going to be the same? They're expanding the interstate, going through your community. Do you think your property is going to be the same? What drives equity in real estate is development. What drives equity in real estate is development. We got members who own land all across the country who call me all the time saying, what can we do with our land? And they've been sitting on it for decades because the land is in the middle of nowhere, where no one with a big purse is willing to go and invest in a residential community. Because of the nature of what we're doing, because of the fact that you don't have Black organizations, Black individuals creating neighborhoods expressly as sanctuaries for Black people outside of, you don't have a swarm of people doing that. Because someone is taking the lead to do that, and because so many people across the country has expressed a desire for that type of community, this is how we build equity in our project. And the equity was first built through the Freedom Georgia Initiative, who purchased the land that I purchased from them, which is what the Black Achievement Fund land originates from. They paid $1,500 for an acre and took the value of the land to $9,133 an acre. Why? They subdivided the land. They said, okay, here's 404 acres. That's all farmland, that's all timberland. We're going to subdivide it out and create all of these homesteads. Because people now see that a new subdivision is carved out and these homesteads are going to be, people bought the land at $9,100 value, because they're banking on, I'm not going to be the only house in the middle of nowhere. As other people build, I see there's 13 lots here. So if 13 people buy these lots and 13 people build homes, we got a bona fide community which will sustain the equity for all of our properties. The problem that we have is that we don't control development dollars. So it is extremely difficult for us to get someone to bet millions of dollars on developing a community for Black people in the middle of nowhere. So much so that it took me 2 years to find someone to finance this deal. Okay? And even these are Black people. These are Black men who are taking a chance and financing this. And even they're nervous. Okay? They flew this weekend from New Jersey, flew here and traveled the 2 hours to our land, to the land of 94 acres, to make sure that it was bona fide, to make sure that the land was shovel ready. Because again, these are not the types of residential development projects that happen how we're doing it. We're making history here with the Black Achievement Fund. When, as a historian, I get tired of having all of these classes in which we wax nostalgic about all of the Black communities that we had all across the country. We sit and beat our chests and be proud and want to remind everyone that we used to have all of this. But yet, where are the strategies to recreate them? History is supposed to be there to provide the wisdom and direction for the future. We saw that we were successful in our own communities. And we saw that people purposely destroyed them out of jealousy and other reasons. But now we have to come back and say, hey, that worked. We got to go back to that. You know what it reminds me of? Wile E. Coyote. Wile E. Coyote. Wile E. Coyote tries to catch the Roadrunner a billion times. And sometimes he'll have the right gadget to do it. He just implemented it incorrectly. And if all he had to do was go back and implement it correctly, and it will work. He never goes back to it, ever and ever and ever again. And you sit and watch it, you be like, God, just do it again. This is like that with my people. This is like that with our leadership. I'm sitting up here and I'm saying, hold on, you just told me that we should be so proud of this. You just told me that over 100 years ago, we created our own self-sustaining upscale community, complete with movie theaters, upscale shops, grocery stores, schools, hospitals. And now you're telling me that that's just history.
Damn.
That's just history. And I'm saying, well, damn, you just got my mouth watered up for an all Black community that's all self-sustaining. And now when I talk about, well, what is our strategy now for recreating that? There is no strategy. It's the same old one to go work for somebody else and buy in their communities. We have the ability to grow our wealth individually and as a collective through real estate alone. I'm a real estate investor. I've been investing in real estate for over 20 years. Real estate has given me the financial freedom to come to you guys on Sunday and say whatever I want to say out of my mouth. That's the level of financial freedom real estate has given me. Nobody controls my paycheck. I don't need nobody's job to feed me or my family because of real estate. Because of the fact that I'm able to make money while I'm asleep through my investments. Okay? And now what I'm trying to do, because we are pivoting here at the Black Achievement Fund, we're not going to be focused so much so on our membership drive to get 10 million people to join. Because the reality is that we don't need 10 million people. We can do a whole lot with a little bit of people, and we've shown that already. We purchased 6 acres of land collectively, with people on average contributing $40 a month over a course of 24 months. How many of you own 6 acres of land? Outright, no mortgage. Now collectively, we own 6 acres of land. What can we do collectively with that 6 acres of land? I just shared with you. We're going to be building properties, increasing the value of the land through our development. If you got 6 acres of land and it has no running water on it, it's a certain cost. The moment you dig a well and produce fresh water, is the land the same value? You put a house on it. Go to the electric company, get the electric people to connect the electric system. You go pay the plumber to connect the well to your house for the running water. You go add all of this infrastructure. Is the land still $3,000? We are building wealth through real estate. Okay? This is what I know how to do best. This is what has worked for me. This is what has provided me with financial freedom. This is what has worked for my family and provided my family with a level of wealth beyond a lot of families Black families that I know of. So now I'm here as the president of the Black Achievement Fund to teach you guys how to make capital through real estate. Because if you got money sitting in an account, if it's in a savings account, you're getting 1% or less. If it's in a CD, you might be getting 4 to 5%. Mutual fund may get up to 8%. Stocks, you may have some stocks that give you 20%, but I guarantee you're gonna have some that you lose. But on average, Wall Street returns are 12 to 14% on average, okay? And they don't count the money that you lost along the way, okay? So now, through real estate, you have an opportunity to make money in a variety of different ways. But more importantly, you're making money without actually having to go to work for it. You're allowing the investment to accrue equity. And through that equity, you enrich yourself and you buy more land and more land and more land. And you just keep doing the same thing. This is what I've been doing for over 20 years. Okay? So, where are we shifting our focus to with the Black Achievement Fund? Real estate development. Now, I want to share some more power that real estate affords us. On this land, I told you we have 12 program departments. On this 94 acres, the Black Achievement Fund now also has the ability to begin the process of growing food. Our very own produce and meat for our community. So we're gonna have a produce farm that grows everything that our community eats. We're gonna be raising chickens. So you'll get fresh chicken meat, you'll get fresh eggs. And whatever else that we want that for whatever reason we don't grow in our community, we're gonna get from neighboring farms, Black farms. So having land, now here's another purpose that it serves. It gives us the ability to begin the all-important thing of feeding our own communities. Every single community that the Black Achievement Fund is going to build is going to be in a rural environment Why do I want a rural environment? I want a rural environment because I want to be able to really grow. The environment that we're in right now is virgin land. There's never been a farm on the land. There's never been any fertilizers or anything dumped in the land. The land has been timberland for as long as the county has been recording it. So when we go underground and dig water, we got fresh water. We're not connected to city water. Now we got water that we can bottle and sell ourselves. So when we have all of these events in Little Kemet, all of these concerts and festivals, now we have food source, water source to provide fresh farm to table food alternatives to processed foods. All right? So just real estate, we're in 2 departments, food, agriculture, and real estate development. But we're going to take it a step further. We talked about the bottling water operation. We can have a bottled water operation on our land, right near the well. So you're talking about beginning manufacturing and transportation. Now, when you dig a well, you put your own filtration system and all of that, and your water is certified mineral water, which ours will be certified. Now you got a water business. Once you built your well, got your filtration and all that going, how much is your water bill? Zero. Okay? Now, when you think about a farm has very little value if you're just selling all of raw goods. You only get so much for a head of lettuce. You only get so much for a raw tomato. The capital comes in manufacturing this raw goods into consumer goods. So now, instead of just selling lettuce and celery, all this stuff separately, you make a salad. Salad, $6, $7, $10. So now on our same land, we have a general store that sells already prepared fresh food from the farm. We have a bottling operation that's selling all of the water. We have a beekeeping operation that's making fresh honey that we're selling through our store. But also, we're selling shelf space to other Black people with businesses who want to sell their products in our community. Now you have shelf space to do so. Canning the fruits and vegetables. Do you know how small an operation that we can have for a canning facility? So that now we don't have to sit and watch our fruit rot on the ground. We can can it and extend the shelf life and increase the value, because go take 2 peaches and see how much they cost raw. Preserve them in a can and see how much that peach preserves cost. Go to the supermarket, buy a whole watermelon, $5, $6, $7. Whole. But how much is it if they cut it up for you and put it in a small container? $10 times more. Okay? Summertime, you go get a container of watermelon this big, they want $5. But then you can go get a whole watermelon this big for $5. We have to go back to knowing economics. We have to go back to doing what other communities have done. An economy is a group of, or all of the businesses within a given area. That's an economy. But if our whole community are employees working for someone else at a high, even if it's at a high salary, you're just a consumer at most. You're the person playing Monopoly with no property on the board. It's just a matter of time before you broke. Or you have to continue to work your entire life to make that salary to stay on the board. Meanwhile, after I've gotten my hotels built on Boardwalk and Park Place, do I got to worry about the board anymore? Once I own all the reds and all the greens and have 4 houses on them, do I have to worry about who rolls what? Let's talk about some of our other programs and services. So we talked about small business. We got land. We operate small businesses on the land. We have land. We're developing homes, real estate on the land. We have land. We're growing food, farming and agriculture on the land. Health and wellness. Food is a part of health and wellness. All the herbs, almost all of the medicines that you see are derived from some type of plant or herb. So now, right on our land, in our own greenhouse, we can grow all of these medicinal plants and herbs and process them. We own land. We can develop our own training clinic on our land. Whatever we want to do. We're in a rural environment. The more rural the environment is, the less regulations there are on development. Where we are in Wilkerson County, they don't even have a planning and zoning department. Another advantage being in the rural is that the taxes are cheap. The taxes on the Black Achievement Fund 6 acres is $219 a year. A year. Let's go back to our programs and services. Culture and community. How do we instill our culture within our own communities? We own all of this land. This is our community. It's owned privately and collectively. It's an HOA community. We build trails all along our trails. We have art installations, murals in our community. We can name the streets after our own heroes. We're going to have a clubhouse that will host all types of community events. So now when the Deltas are having their annual meeting, they don't have to do it at the Hilton. They can do it on Black-owned land, and that money is recycled back in the Black community. If we want to host a summer camp for kids, we now have the land to do so. We have a working farm, so we can teach the students about growing their own food. We're raising our own chicken. So here's something else that we're teaching students. We have our own beekeeping operation. We have a curated trail. All types of native plants and fruits and vegetables, all these things, edibles along the trail. So there is a plethora of things that we can do from our own land. The sky is the limit. The 6 acres that the Black Achievement Fund owns, it is not in my name. It's not in my wife's name. It's not in any board member's name. It is in the name of the Black Achievement Fund, Inc. Here we are establishing a safe upscale community for our people that will last beyond us. But who is going to do this for us other than us? Who is invested in you other than people that look like you? When you look at other communities, other residential communities, they don't put the amenities that we're putting into the communities. They gonna rape, excuse my language, they gonna rape the land. They're going to put as many houses per square inch they possibly can. You're not going to have a community with all of these amenities. You're not going to have a community with open parks and all of that. I don't know any community that has all of those things. Even $1 million communities, they don't have these amenities. Because they are developed under somebody else's worldview. For all of you who watched our Kwanzaa and participated in our Kwanzaa, you guys saw the African worldview. We showed you demonstrations of the African worldview, of the African value system. It's radically different than the European ones. Our legacy here at the Black Achievement Fund is to rebuild these communities that we speak so highly of in our history classes. Let's rebuild. We're right at 2:53. I know I have a lot of people up here. I know a lot of people have some questions. So I want to open it up, to questions on our real estate development, the future of where we're going with the Black Achievement Fund, or any comments you may have based on the info session today.
Brother Arkey, have you sent out the prospectus yet? We sent the emails out to you. Did you get that done?
I'm sorry. I haven't sent it out, Brother George, because the plan shifted a little bit.
Okay.
But it will be going out February 1st.
Excellent. And I wanted to comment about your Kwanzaa presentation. The African proverb says, a child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. So what you did during Kwanzaa was very important because you engaged our young people. And another African proverb says that you plant a seed for a tree that you will never sit under its shade. So we are doing that. And see, what you've inspired me to do is to look back on all the work that we've done. So, brother, you've got me 100% in whatever it is you're doing, because you know I work with children all the time, and it is my vision that what we're doing here at the Black Achievement Fund would become the boilerplate, the template that we could pass on to our children, grandchildren, and for me, almost great-grandchildren. So, yeah, brother, I'm proud of what you're doing.
Shay, thank you so much. And right now, I discount the fact that I'm sitting in our own Kemet Club, okay, in Atlanta, Georgia, that we finance on our own. We don't ask nobody for money. This is all Black excellence. We just had an open mic night last night. We provide a space for people in our community to come and feel safe and express themselves. And we're not charging them an arm and a leg to do it either. From our Kemet Club here in Atlanta. And in a year, you're going to be able to take a shuttle to our private retreat in Toomsboro, Georgia. That we own our land. And even in our community, when we build that clubhouse, we're building a clubhouse on Black Achievement Fund owned land. This is going to be an HOA community. So all of the people who buy and own homes privately in this community, they're going to be paying money every single month through their HOA to the Black Achievement Fund for access to the Black Achievement Fund's amenities. So again, this is how you create capital. Dr. Gloria, I see your hand.
Yes, this is something I have been talking about and wanted to be a part of for 40 years. If Frida's on here, she can tell you it's true. The one question that I have heard is, now I believe that if you have a nonprofit organization and it's all set up, that no one person can come and take it away from you. Now, isn't that true? I'm with you if they
Correct.
do. I'm with
Correct.
you.
Correct. And, there are stipulations in our bylaws against selling this property. Okay. So even if the board change, they're not going to be able to sell the property. All right. They're going to have 75% vote from active members, to be able to sell any Black Achievement Fund property. Okay. The board alone does not have the power to sell any property that the Black Achievement Fund owns. And no board will ever have the problem, because boards can operate in a back room and you look up and things are done to the nonprofit and they're just done. There's no way for the people to have anything to say against it or anything like that. The difference is when we're pooling our money collectively, I'm making sure that you all have a voice beyond what the board decisions may be. Okay, the board can fire me, but the board can't sell no property. They will have to have special meetings in which they mail and notify all members of, with the express intent to sell property. Just like when you go throughout your community and you'll see it posted, such and such has applied for a liquor license in your community, and you get to go and have something to say about it. Now, if you don't show up, if you don't vote, that's something totally different. But by law, they have to make a notification. If I apply for a liquor license, as a part of my application, I have to submit in newspapers that I'm applying for this permit. I have to do it, and I have to show the county that I got this ad in the paper announcing my plans. Okay? So we've made sure that we put in ironclad regulations so that we don't come and get a rogue board or anybody to come along and try to undo what we've done as an organization. Okay, and this is something that we had thought about all the way in 1996, 97, when we were meeting each week to go over our campaign. We have Sister Kim and then Sister Deidre.
Okay. Brother President.
Yes.
First of all, I want to say thank you for all of the work that you're doing. I've been on for a little while and you're working tirelessly. And I truly appreciate that.
Thank you.
I just want you to know your work has not gone unnoticed.
Thank you so much.
Now to the question. Okay. How do we know that since we are in a rural area, that our pyramid homes will be rented since they're 2 hours away from the metropolitan area? How do we know that people will come and rent them?
Well, we're going to be promoting. People ain't just going to come because you say they're going to come. So the Black Achievement Fund is going to be hosting all types of festivals, concerts, events. We're also going to be renting this place out to other Black professional organizations, so on and so forth. Airbnb. Most of the investors that I know who are investing, as well as myself, will also be offering the properties for Airbnb, that sort of thing. But we plan to bring the people there. And in addition to that, we're hiring a PR firm to market it and promote this. We've already hired a real estate firm to market and promote as well. So this is going to be something that is a cornerstone of our movement. This is something that we are personally going to be marketing and promoting. And because of the structure of our business model, we can afford to bring people down there free of charge. So for example, if we decide to have a reggae concert, we don't have to charge you a dime for the concert, because we're going to make the money off of water, We'll make the money off of alcohol. We'll make the money off of vendors. And once people get there, everyone's not going to want to go to a hotel. They're going to want to be there. And the other part about it is that we're attracting people to come down during the day, not just to spend the night. And invariably, all of this traffic is going to get us booked. And the very fact that there are very, very, very few communities in the United States of America that feature these homes. So aside from the fact that we're doing this and we're all Black people doing it, there is a marvel to the architecture, and we're bringing something new. So that's what we are banking on, and that is why this bank has decided to pour in millions of dollars into this project, and why I decided to put my own money in this project. You know, we're very, very, very committed to this. So, a lot of investing is hope and prayer too. All right. Nothing is a complete slam dunk, but we do know that we will be establishing comps so that anyone who purchased a home in our community can be assured that they have a house that they'll be able to use as a comp if or when they decide to sell their property, that they're not going to be out there alone. In fact, the bank that I'm working with, they're only going to finance us if I was willing to do 5 houses at a time. Okay, and the rationale is that it's much easier to convince someone that a whole community is coming if you've invested over $1 million in building 5 homes, as opposed to them showing up and there's just one home in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Okay, so you can rest assured that we are bringing capital to the project to ensure that everyone receives equity. And I'm spending my own money. I'm spending more than everybody involved altogether in this project. So that's how much faith that I have in it. But I can't guarantee you anything, and that's why the figures that I gave are based on 80% occupancy and never on us being able to rent out your place, or you being able to rent out your place, I should say, for the whole year. And then you also have to think about doing holiday times. All right, your rent is going to be a little more during holiday times than not. But as the community grows, your investment is going to grow. More and more people are going to know about it. And once again, I don't know of any communities like this in the country. I know that if I heard of it, I would definitely at least want to go there to see what it's about.
I think you have all of the areas covered. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Sister D?
Yeah, you have a couple of questions on the YouTube. Okay. How do we engage the youth, Brother Seek Dolo? How do we engage the youth?
Well, we have some of our members who operate youth program. So we have some of our members who operate homeschool networks. So we're hoping that we can use our land and create summer programs, okay, where kids can come for a weekend. We can have summer programs that last for a whole week, okay? And now we have the infrastructure to facilitate these things. And this is why I want to get as many properties built on the Black Achievement Fund land as possible, because each one of these houses that we're building are going to sleep 4 to 6 people comfortably. So you have 5 houses, you're talking about a group of 20 to 30 kids comfortably that you'll be able to accommodate. And they'll all be in one area. And you don't have to worry about them getting into any shenanigans or anything like that, because you're in the country. All right. Nighttime, ain't nobody venturing outside those gates nowhere. I don't care how tough they were in that city. When that sun goes down and you're in nature for real, and you start hearing unfamiliar sounds, yeah, all that tough guy goes away.
Okay.
Rehabilitation for people to come and just rehabilitate. In an environment that is peaceful, that's calming. We're going to have trails that are almost a mile long. And all along these trails, you have different terrain. You'll be walking alongside a creek for some period of time. You'll be walking alongside the produce and animal farm. You'll be walking alongside these pyramid homes. You'll be walking along. So there's a variation in the topography and all of that. So it's going to be a really, really therapeutic place.
All right then. Who is doing the soil conservation? Random Sunset. Who is doing the soil conservation?
Well, we're going to have farmers who actually live on site. The Black Achievement Fund, we are members of the, hold on, because I want to make sure I say their name right. The Federation of Southern Cooperatives and Land Assistance Fund, we are members, and this is the largest consortium of Black farmers that exists. They're literally 1 block down the street from our headquarters here in Atlanta. We've been a member for a little over 2 years. I've met with the director of the fund, as well as his deputy, and they are actively working with us to develop our whole farm plan. And they're also going to be working with us to connect us to other farmers for all of our genetics and things like that. So we'll be leaning on them for all of our soil questions and things like that. And we're doing environmental tests on all of the soil. In fact, the county does soil tests before you can build a house. There's a soil test done on the area where you're going to build your house. There's a soil test done where you're going to build your well, and there's a soil test done anywhere where you're going to have a septic tank. So we have plenty of testing in place.
Okay.
Ms. Faith, you have a question?
Still have some more. There's still other questions.
Okay.
Have we started to establish branches on college campus and especially HBCU?
We need support. You know, to start a campaign branch, we need to have a dedicated member who is willing to do the work necessary to do it. This organization is volunteer led, and we need more people who have these ideas, because that's your passion. You know, if you have this question, then obviously that's a passion that you have. We will do everything possible to support your endeavor. If you want to begin the process of establishing a Black Achievement Fund campaign branch on a college campus, all you have to do is contact us at info@baf.solutions. Let us know the college that you want to establish a branch on, and we will work with you. Let us know your plan in doing so, and we will provide you with the resources. If you want to have interest meetings with the kids, you know, and you want to have pizza or Chick-fil-A, whatever it is you want to entice them to come, we'll provide the capital and the resources for it. But we need you to lead the initiative. Okay.
Actually, facts.
Okay.
I don't golf, but will you have golf course for Black people who do?
Listen, I'm trying to buy another 375 acres
Ooh.
for $1.1 million. If you're interested in that golf course, because the golf course was one of the things that we discussed for this 375 acres. So the fact that you came up here today talking about a golf course means that there's some there. So please contact me at info@baf.solutions. If people are interested in investing in this $1.1 million property, let me know. It will be a private investment. And with all of my investments, I make sure that land is donated to the Black Achievement Fund. In fact, this 94 acres, even though this is being purchased by myself and some investors that I have, I'm donating the absolute best piece of land. My wife and I are donating the best piece of land on the 94 acres to the Black Achievement Fund for the clubhouse. Okay, so anything that we do, how we're moving, we're giving back and we're making money at the same time. So I would love that idea about the golf course. That would be an awesome, awesome, awesome thing. But as you know, golf courses cost a lot of money. All right, so we would have to really, really find some people that are interested. And I do know the Qs, for example. They have a lot of chapters that do a lot of golf tournaments and things like that. But that would be awesome because now, we'll have a place for these tournaments, black golf tournaments and bringing celebrities and things like that down. So guys, we gotta start buying land. We gotta start buying land. I love the idea that members had in pooling their capital together to buy land, but this is what it is about, you know?
Okay, one more. I'm sorry, Sister Faith, got one more. Brother Arkey, I heard you use the term comp or comped. Please explain the term. Thank you.
Oh, okay. A comp is a comparable sale. Okay. When you are doing any type of real estate investment, when it comes time to appraise the value of that real estate, the first thing that any appraiser wants to see is the sales of comparable real estate next to you. Okay. That helps determine what your real estate value is. So for example, if there are 5 houses on a road and they're all comparably sized houses, if one house sells for 200,000 and I'm trying to sell my house in the middle, the appraiser is going to look and say, okay, a house on your block sold for $200,000 2 months ago. So the value of your property is relative to the value of that property. Now, let's say, for instance, that there has been no comps, no comparable properties ever, because you're in a rural environment like we are. Then it becomes very, very difficult to get your house financed. So a comp, in short, is a comparable piece of real estate next to you. And the appraiser uses the value of that comparable real estate to help determine the value of your real estate. Okay, so when I talk about us creating the comps from this area, once I build one house, let's say, for instance, I sell it for $225,000. That's in the book. That becomes a comp for the other houses that will be built next to it. So now I build another house, and let's say, for instance, this house is slightly smaller. It may still be valued at 225 because that 225 house is now going to have increased in value. So that house may now be at 245. So now, even though next door may be a little smaller, it still has a higher comp. Okay, so I hope I explained that, but a comp is a comparable piece of real estate, and the appraiser uses that to determine how much to value yours for.
Yes, Ashley said thank you. Please,
Wow.
go ahead, Ms. Faith.
Ms. Faith, you have the floor.
Yes, you mentioned the trail. So, of course, I'm thinking about Juneteenth, right? So I want to know, will the trails be ready for me to do a 5K with our members?
Well, right now, there's already a makeshift trail there. So there's a short yes to that question, but I'm a Virgo, I like everything upscale, crispy. So the trail that I'm building is not going to be ready for Juneteenth, but there is already a trail there that goes around the entire perimeter of the 94 acres. So the answer is yes, you would be able to do a 5K around the property, and that would be really fun.
Okay, so you mentioned we were going to have 2 acres ready for our Juneteenth celebration, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so on that 2 acres, I know you mentioned the 94 acres. On that 2 acres, it's not able to do a trail there?
I think it would be best to do the 94 acres because, like I said, there's already a trail that goes around the entire
Yeah.
floor. We would actually have to do some building on the 6 acres to do that.
How
So,
away is the 94 acres?
say it again.
How far away is the 94 acres?
5-minute walk.
Oh, okay. So we could actually incorporate that into it.
Yeah, the
Like
94 acres and the Black Achievement Fund acreage are all going to be a part of our Little Kemet community. We're linking both of those neighborhoods together.
Okay.
So
Well,
all of the people on, all of the properties that we build on the Black Achievement Fund, I'm donating land to the Black Achievement Fund on the 94. The Black Achievement Fund also owns the 6 acres outside of the 94. So both of those communities have Black Achievement Fund land on our Little Kemet community. They'll be connected some way, somehow.
okay. So I'm throwing my hat in the ring to organize the 5K for our Juneteenth event on Sunday morning.
Okay, okay.
Sunday morning. Saturday morning, Sister D said we're still going to do meditation there, yoga there, fitness.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, Sunday morning.
This is going to be our best Juneteenth birthday party ever, hands down. Hands down. Okay. So if you are, please mark your calendar now for June 14th, 15th, and 16th. That is our ribbon cutting ceremony weekend, and it's also Juneteenth weekend. Okay, we're going to have shuttles that go from our Kemet Club here to our band. So you don't even have to rent a car if you don't want to rent a car. We are literally 9 minutes from the airport. You can Uber from the airport here is only like $10 to $20 and $20 if it's rush hour. And then the shuttle will take you from here to our land in Toomsboro. And then on Sunday, we will have a couple shuttles that will take you back so that we'll make sure that those of you who are catching planes on Sunday will have time to make your flights. All right, we'll have an early shuttle and then we'll have an afternoon shuttle. All right, so I don't want to break people's bank, but we do want you here. All right, we need your energy as a family, and we want you to see what you have been spending your money on. We want you to see how far we've come in such a small amount of time. And I'm just so proud to be able to showcase this to people who have been, like you guys, have been working so hard to get the message out. I know how hard it is to convince people to join something, but we're doing it. We've made history. We own land, and there's nothing but, it's just uphill now.
I have another have another one question. Kenyatta, so is the plan to build these houses, then sell to the members?
Yes, we will have. So members have right now, there is a limited amount of land that will be sold to Black Achievement Fund members. And Black Achievement Fund members will also have the ability to purchase homes that are already built. Okay, my development company is in the process of building 5 houses at a time. We already have a commitment for a couple of those houses already. And once again, there's a finite number of lots that are going to be developed. And once they're developed, they're developed. But don't fret. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. If you're not able to catch this investment, save your capital and be ready for the next investment. I promise you that this is not a one-stop shop. The Black Achievement Fund has been very ambitious from its conception. We never, ever, ever thought to settle with doing one community. We're here to uplift our whole community, not just here in America, but beyond. So This is just the beginning. This is the first blueprint.
Okay, for those choosing, Dr. Free, for those choosing to stay at a hotel for Juneteenth, has there been a hotel selected near the land?
Yeah, there is a Holiday Inn that is located 25 minutes from the land. The town of Dublin and the town of Milledgeville are the two towns that Toomsboro is couched in between. So I would look at hotels there, Dublin, and Milledgeville. We're also 30 minutes away from Macon, but Macon is kind of on the other side. But once the save the date and the tickets go out on February 1st, all of that hotel information will be there, as well as the stores that are close, all of that type of stuff. There's a Dollar General that's 8 minutes away and another one that's 14 minutes away. The Walmart is 25 minutes away. And for those who will be camping out with us, you won't have to bring any camping materials if you don't want to. We will already have tent packages. So when you come there, your tent will already be pitched for you. You'll already have a mattress in there. You'll already have sheets, a pillow, and a blanket already set up for you. So you won't have to worry about any of that. All of these tents are going to be set up underneath another tent, a huge 20 by 40 tent. So even though you're in a tent, you're not going to be in a tent uncovered. So even if we have any type of inclement weather or anything like that, you don't have to worry about getting rained on or anything like that. The land is going to be manicured. So we ain't gonna be pitching tents on mud and dirt like we had to do the first time that we were on the land out there. The Black Achievement Fund, we done came up, okay? So our stuff is gonna be crispy this Juneteenth.
Okay, will there be a special rate for hotels?
I mean, we're gonna do a group rate deal, which usually gives you like anywhere between 10 and 20% off. Yep.
The houses
And
that's
that group and that hotel information, all the hotel information is going to be on the ticket form. Okay. And for those of you who are flying in, please do not forget to put in what time your flight arrives and leaves so that we can create our shuttle times so that we can accommodate everybody's flight schedules, okay? It's not gonna be a mandatory thing to answer on the ticket form because it doesn't apply to everyone. But if you do not put in your flight information, we're not gonna be able to guarantee you that we will be able to accommodate you getting back to meet your flight on Sunday if we don't know what time the flight is, okay? So when you're filling that out, I really, really want you guys to try to get your flights as soon as possible. And of course, they're gonna be cheaper the earlier out that you get them.
okay. Still have some more. I'm still online. What is this?
Brother,
Well,
was it TJ Forrest?
Brother Thomas?
Hey,
Tom.
brother Key, how you doing?
Yes, I'm doing well.
You probably already said it. I just don't want to waste too much time. Are we renting the tents? Or, we're going to rent them from you? We got to give you some money for the rentals and all that?
Yeah.
You think anything's free?
But here's the thing. You guys are paying at cost, okay? You guys are lucky that we have some young volunteers who are willing to come and pitch the tents and stuff that you buy. So we're going to, on that ticket form, we're already costing out the most economical tents. So we're gonna have tents for 2 people and we're gonna have tents for families, okay? So you'll be able to select, I want a tent for 1 to 2 people or a tent for 2 to 4 people, so on and so forth. We'll have the cost of those tents. We'll have the cost of the air mattresses, the cost of the pillows, the cost of the blankets, all right? And we're gonna make it as a package. So you can decide you wanna buy the package Or you're more than welcome to come here and go to Walmart, buy your own tent, pitch your own tent, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But we wanted to make it easy for those who did want to have the tent experience. But like me, I'm bougie. I don't know how to put up no tent. And I don't try to put up a tent. I don't care if you tell me it's super easy. I'm not going to do it. So we have volunteers who've already volunteered to do it. Okay.
Okay, because I was looking at tents. I was getting ready to buy some Coleman tents. Now I don't have to do it. Yep.
Wait to the first. Wait to the
Okay.
first, because we're going to see whether or not we can get some bulk rates with some of these companies if we buy like 20 or more, that sort of thing.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
But don't go buy any tents or anything, guys. Wait till February 1st at least.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I got a couple of more.
right.
Will I be able to bring an RV camper? CK.
Yes, you will be able to bring an RV camper, but there will be a fee for bringing an RV camper. It's not going to be a huge fee. It'll be a modest fee.
Okay. I came in late, but I heard you say something about $9,000. What was that about? I don't remember 9,000.
Yeah, I'm not sure I remember anything about it.
Sorry. No,
The price that Freedom Georgia's went up to.
How much
Oh.
the land increased in value.
Oh.
If the land that we end up owning went from $1,500 in value to $9,133 in value after it was subdivided.
Okay, that's it so far. Nothing else. You good?
All right, everybody.
Can I ask one question? The houses that are gonna be there, are those rentable? Like, can we rent those now if they're there? If you get in first, how does that work? Or are they not sleepable ready?
No, so I'm trying to have them all sold. All right.
Okay. Mhm.
That's my goal. Once I sell the first 5 houses, then I can kind of relax because again, I'm financing all of this. So as soon as I close on February 12th, April 1st, I got carrying costs.
Mhm.
Okay. So the banks is lending me all of this money. I have to start paying before any house even gets built. So I need to be able to sell at least 3 houses to get from under debt to where my hair isn't, graying at a exponentially rapid rate. So the goal is to be able to pre-sell at least 3 houses and then to have the other 2 houses there, perhaps as rental. But more than likely, I want to be staying in one of them. So a short question is, I doubt that there'll be any rental. There may be one house that will be there as a rental. And I do believe that the people who are already going to be buying the houses that are pre-sold, they're going to be there themselves.
Mm.
I'm sure they won't be renting them out, that they'll be staying there. Now, they're building, I believe this was a 3-bedroom. They may, have, willing to rent out a room or so if it's just going to be them. But short answer would be, I think no. But come
yeah,
to the tent. We all slept in the tent before. We had a great time.
Brother Ray has got his hands. You got the floor, bro.
Brother Ray,
I got a quick question. Do you have to build a house on the property? Can you do you have to build a house on the property?
Yes. And not only do you have to build a house, you have to build an A-frame house. And once you close on your lot, you have to build within 24 months. Okay, and the reason and rationale is I have to protect everybody's investment down there. If somebody's willing to have confidence in this project and invest $250,000 or more on a house, they're banking on being able to increase their investment in dollars. If we allow people to buy land and they don't build, how are we going to have a community? Do you see what I'm saying? If we don't stipulate when you build and everyone just decides to wait to see when someone else is going to build, we won't have a community.
Okay, I just got another one for you. Michael, I need my glasses on. What's the initial investment?
So right now, an acre is going for $30,000 an acre, and home already manufactured on an acre of land starts at $225,000.
That's 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom? What is that?
This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,000 square foot.
How much are the lots being sold for?
$30,000 a lot for the 1 acre lots.
Yep.
Now, again, this is opening. As we begin to build and people begin to buy, the land ain't gonna stay $30,000 an acre. So I just want to make that clear.
Can you not own the land and just buy the house?
Now, if you buy the house, you own the land as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you buy a house that's already built, your house is sitting on an acre lot. So you own that whole acre as your own private real estate with the deed. You own the house and the land that the house sits on. Kim, you have the floor, then Brother Thomas, and then Ray.
Oh, okay. So once you put the initial $1,000 down, how long do we have before we have to pay up to $30,000? I know we have to go through the bank, but how much time do we have? Because I know we have to put those houses up by 2026, is it?
Yeah, I'm thinking, so if you put a deposit down on, so we close February 12th. I'm looking to have all of the lots plotted out by April 12th. Okay, once I won't take any other money until the lots are actually plotted out. Okay, so you're looking at having that done middle of April. All right, and then we would start actively notifying everyone who has a deposit down, and then you would have to buy your lot within perhaps 90 to 120 days. You would have to come up with the rest of the capital.
Okay.
Thomas, you have the floor.
Yeah, redundantly, I just wanted to say about the breakdown: 30,000 an acre, half an acre, 15, and
no
acre.
more. No, we can't. Yeah,
so it's all 30. Oh, okay.
Because the stipulations for building, even though you can subdivide an acre into a 1/4 acre lot, you can only put a septic tank within an acre. So septic tank determines whether or not you have the capacity of having a flushing toilet.
Right.
So if you have an acre, you can build your house. You can also have another dwelling on your house, but that dwelling won't be with a flushing toilet. Okay, so say for instance you added a garage. Say for instance you added a storage unit. You know, that sort of thing. You can do that, but you won't be able to build another house with the septic tank. Only 1 septic tank per acre.
So, Brother Aki, you can't branch off if you have other houses you want to build on there, on that acre. On that acre, you branch off with that septic tank for other houses?
No.
So you can only have 1 house on an acre?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Now, Brother Aki, isn't there a design? You said there's a design where they have the small little tiny units, like the 1 bedroom.
That's
and you can
so they do. So Wilkinson County, In
They
order
share.
for them to acknowledge a dwelling as real estate, it has to be at least 400 square feet. That's number one. And once they don't know anything about the cluster systems. Okay, cluster systems for sewage systems allow for you to have a bunch of smaller houses connect to one septic system. Because the county isn't familiar with that, that's not a part of their regulations. So I'm asking for permission for us to be able to utilize cluster septic systems so that we will be able to put multiple houses on an acre. But until they review that, have their engineers review it and meet and blah, 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 and sign off, the answer is no. So I want to tell you where it is right now. I don't want to hype you up and tell you because they can come back and say no. So right
But
now,
the Airbnbs, you said with the Airbnbs, you could share one facility or possibly share one facility. Like they would connect them so that everyone would come here to the bathroom.
that's part of the cluster system that I'm speaking
Oh,
of.
that's still the cluster? Oh, okay, got you.
How about the cabin? Can there be a cabin put there? That didn't need they had some that didn't need substance.
Right.
Yeah, now if if you can put a cabin there, you can put 5 cabin there. You know what I mean? But you will have to have an outdoor, they would have to leave their cabin to go and use the bathroom. You see, and now some people don't mind that, but then some people do mind that. So it's up to the individual how they want to do it. But I'm hoping that the commissioners accept the cluster system so that we can put multiple smaller units on a property, especially since a lot of people are looking at this for investment and not.
Brother Ray.
Brother Ray.
Yeah, look, now, just to kind of break things down in a little bit more detail, let's say the cost of the property is $30,000, the cost of the house is how much?
You won't be paying separate for the cost of, if you buy a house that's already built, you're not going to pay the cost of the house, then additionally the cost of the land.
Okay, so what's going to be the cost of the house?
It all depends on
the house, all the bells and whistles, the cost of the house, the total investment.
Yeah, the houses range is going to start at $225, but it's going to depend on how big you want the house. Okay, we have houses 1,000 square feet. We have houses that are 1,600 square feet. You got houses 2,000 square feet. So it all depends. The grade of build. If you want all upscale materials, if you want stainless steel, kitchen appliances, if you want real hardwood floor as opposed to laminate. So a lot of that is going to be dictated on the buyer and what the buyer desires. But it's not going to be the same. So even if you come and say, for instance, you say, all right, I want to get a house built through you guys. You're going to have the opportunity to sit with us and design your house. So if you want blue cabinetry, you can have blue cabinetry. If you want to spend more money for your cabinetry, you can spend more money for your cabinetry. If you want to have metal railings for your steps as opposed to wood railings. So there are a lot of things that you're going to be able to customize, and that's going to really dictate how much your house is going to cost. Now, there are going to be fixed costs to some of the houses that we just build off the top. But a lot of people who are going to be building, they're going to be building custom homes. And that's going to vary based on how much your budget is.
So the purchase the house for $225,000, is that going to be the fixed price? That's the bare minimum that you will spend to invest in the project. $225,000.
That's the smallest. amount that you'll be able to pay for a house already manufactured on an acre land.
And what would that cost be?
225,000.
Okay.
Yep. That's going to be the most inexpensive house that will be offered.
All right.
Yep.
Mr. Kim?
Sister Kim.
Before you had spoken about you had someone that would be doing 100% financing. Is that still in effect? And if it is, what is the qualifications?
I'll have to send you to my private banker.
Okay.
And then, when it comes to qualifying for that type of stuff, it's all based on every individual's credit.
Credit. Okay.
And when you guys get the prospectus on February 1st, or that I should say the week of February 1st, the private banker that I'm using, his information is going to be there as well. So you can contact him if you're interested in seeing whether or not he can help finance your individual project. Any other questions? Oh, and if you guys, I have a development company that builds these houses. So if you wanted to go through my development company, if you bought your own land and you wanted a custom house built, you can go with my development company, but you can go with any other development company that you want. Okay? You have the ability to just buy land and have your house built by your own developers, however you want, so long as you build an A-frame house and you do it within 24 months.
And those real bold people, if you go on YouTube, there's people on there show you how to build it yourself. You really, if you're into construction, it can be built, hand built. Wish I was a little younger. I would enjoy that.
The only thing I would tell you is this. When you're doing it yourself, you eat every mistake.
Yeah, pitfalls, yeah.
When you buy something already manufactured, the builder has eaten all the mistakes. You understand what I'm saying?
True that. Facts.
So if you make a costly mistake of $5,000, you eat it. The builder makes a $5,000 mistake, he got to eat it. So that's the biggest thing that I tell newbies when it comes to new construction, okay? Yeah. Know what your budget is and know that if you make a mistake, you eat it, okay? There are a lot of things that I know how to do personally, but I hire somebody else because I say, you know what, Arkey? If you screw it up, you don't get nothing. If they screw it up, they got to pay for all of this all over again. So what do you want to do? Let them do. But a lot of you may have children who are into construction, family members who are into construction, but also know that even when you're doing your own build, they work for you. So if you got an uncle who does painting, you can give your uncle the painting contract. If you have an uncle that does foundation work, you can give them the foundation work. So even if you do hire a general contractor to do a custom build, know that 9 times out of 10, they will allow you to bring in your own subcontractors. But once again, if those subcontractors screw up, that's on you. It ain't on the builder. So if you go and hire a foundation guy for the build and I'm your general contractor and you say, no, Arkey, I want my Uncle Pookie to do the foundation, and Pookie do the foundation and your house slide down the cliff, not liable. I'm going to tell you, you need to go talk to Pookie.
It's crazy.
All right, guys. This is a great meeting. You guys came with some really, really great questions. Keep the questions coming. Don't be afraid to ask any question. No question is a dumb question. And we are going to be consistently providing these updates on what we're doing on the land. I know I promised you guys that I would talk about the preliminary steps to getting the land developed, but I'll just save that for our monthly members meeting, which is it next Sunday, Sister D? Is next Sunday the first Sunday of February?
No, Two Sundays.
Okay, the next 2 Sundays.
Next one is the 28th, and then February 4th. It's the first Sunday, February 4th.
All right. And in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, you can just send those directly to info@baf.solutions, and we'll get those questions answered for you guys. All
Yes,
right.
also, Key, just let everybody know, if you're a new member, February 12th is our next new members meeting on Zoom at 7 p.m. Please come out if you're new members. Thank
And
you.
the new member orientation is to help you navigate your way through our website, find out where the calendar is for Kemet Club, find out how to access your member benefits, like the curriculum, our corporate information, all of that good stuff. All right, and that's February the 12th. And we also have a new book for our book club, and we have a new host of the BAF book club, and that is Brother Teddy. And the book is it called In My Grandmother's Garden?
In my grandmother's house. In my grandmother's something. I don't have it in front of me. In my grandmother's.
Our members shared with me that they've already started listening to the audio book, and that it's a very, very, very powerful book. So I encourage all of you guys to come and join. We're starting a brand new book, and that starts what day?
Tuesday, January 30th, 6 p.m. Tuesday, January 30th. It'll be every Tuesday. Every
And
Tuesday, 6 p.m.
For those of you who don't have time to actually read along, they're audiobooks. So there's an audiobook component. So you can actually just listen to this and, you know, be a part of the conversations during the book club. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all so much for your support, your love, and inspiration. All right. We're going to make this happen.
No doubt.
The world.
More power to the people, family.
Thank you.
Power to the people.
All right.
Super meeting.
See you guys
Yeah,
soon.
yeah.